Alright, look at nigga. I got one motherfucking thing to tell your raggedy ass nigga. I see your ass over there doing your little XRRx or whatever the fuck you doing, whatever pornos you shoot over there. Look here, you motherfucker. All that pro-black shit you be talking, all that I love my people shit, don't nobody want to hear about that, nigga. Just make your motherfucking money, nigga. You understand me? Shit. It ain't nothing to it, nigga. You understand me? Now, when it come down to how you're dealing with something, this is the only thing I'm going to tell you, nigga. Worry about you and what you got to do. You feel me? Ain't nobody rocking with you, nigga. You rock with you. You fucks with you. You understand me, nigga? Ain't nothing else, can't nobody tell you. You know? Shit, I'ma just tell you right there. Shit. Nigga.
Hello and welcome to another XRRx podcast. I am your host, Rico Wreak Havoc, the one, the only. And we got some shit to get into today. Today I am joined by a good friend, fellow producer, Mr. Nate.
What's going on, man?
Nativity.
Yes,
understand me. On a spiritual level.
Spiritual level.
Yeah, hold on. We gotta get your levels right, brother. Hold on. Alright.
Yeah, we should get it right.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. We've been fucking around trying to get this shit right for a while now. Nigga went into the ether for a minute. We did a song. First of all, let me tell you about this raggedy ass nigga. This motherfucker came by, and I'm thinking we just gonna work on some music on the humble.
Nah, but you're not telling the very start of the shit though. So,
well, motherfucker, you tell it, dog. Shit.
Because I hit up Reek kind of just to get an idea and to get his opinion on different music and help me out with different producing and seeing what software he used, all that type of shit. So came over trying to get shit together, and I was like, man, let me work on my writing too. Since I'm here, let's work on all facets of the shit.
Quotations around work on, first of all.
Yeah, but that's what we were doing. So I was like, bet. He put on a beat, and I was like, hey, bro, let's have like 10, 15 minutes. Let's write some shit. And then we could like critique it, go over it, see what could be done better, all that type of shit. And then we ended up making a fucking song.
Which is called Apex. We'll be out soon. For those who've been fiending for it. Shouts out to the big brother Hassani. Niggas been posting up on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Yeah, my big bro, he fuck with it. He says a hit. But we just gotta get the mixing right, and I'm fucking fickle about mixing. And I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie, Nate. I was hella surprised when we did this shit. I was like, this nigga rap. Like, this nigga for real, like, rap. And I was like, okay, I thought this nigga was just a producer. But I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, it's not that I had low expectations. It was just my expectations got over-exceeded. And that's good. That's always good, you know, because I keep my shit in the middle. I'm just like, all right, you know, you go come with some heat. But when you came with a whole fucking meteorite of some shit, I was like, damn, I don't even know if what I wrote is even worth the fuck. Which I rarely had that thought. I'm dead ass, like I rarely had that thought.
I think it's mainly being in the moment too, because like I said, I came for help mainly, just to try to improve, get better at what I was doing and my goals, the goals I had set for myself. So when I came over here, it wasn't with the intent to be like, oh man, I just wrote this fire ass verse, I'm gonna drop a meter on this nigga real quick. No, it wasn't like that.
I mean, and surprisingly, like, it was one of those moments where I was like, damn, am I losing my touch with writing? And if y'all hear like these random snoring moments, me and this nigga both vape, so y'all gonna hear some drags here and there. But yeah, what I was saying about writing, I was like, this motherfucker, okay. But subsequently, I actually finished my verse before he did, and I was like, nah, I know I didn't finish this fucking verse before this nigga did. This shit gonna be trash. And surprisingly, to my surprise, when it came out on wax, it came out real well. I was like, oh fuck.
I was just struggling with the very end of it, trying to fit into that little space that we had set up for the verses.
Yeah, it's
So I was
always
trying
hard, man.
I was trying to piece it together, but we ended up getting it together, and I think doing justice to the beat that you made, man. Because when I heard that shit, I was like, God damn, that shit is fucking hard as shit. God damn, pause. But the shit was fire, and I was like, yo.
Pause, my nigga. Yeah, we gotta put a fucking flag on the plate, my nigga.
Nah, but I was like, we gotta write to that shit. So we ended up going for it.
I mean, shit, it came out good, bro. Like, I think I got more irritated because all that synergy just for the mixer to come out fucked up. I was like, yo, what the fuck is this shit?
Well, there's a lot of shit in the background that I guess, like you were telling me during the actual creation of all of this, like, hey, most of what we're noticing or you're noticing, the consumer won't notice.
Right.
So, like, when I was going through it, because when I'm creating my own shit or writing my own shit, one of the main reasons I came over here in the first place is because I'm self-critical as an artist to, I think, a detrimental degree. So, like, you got to get out of that.
I mean, you know, we are. I mean, artists are like we personalize how we do shit. We're like our own biggest critics. You know, like we always think highly of ourselves, like how we would want somebody to look at our art, right? We look at our art like that, and on the flip side, we look at it, I think, even more so from a negative, like damn, this shit ugly, the motherfucker. I don't fuck with this shit. This old nasty face bitch here, like it's like creating a kid that you don't want type shit. Like you love the motherfucker, but you don't want it. You know.
I don't think that's a good example, bro. But yeah, I guess. Shit.
It's like,
God damn.
It's like okay, better yet, it's like having an ugly girlfriend that you know that has a good heart.
Yo, what the fuck we doing right now?
I don't fucking know, nigga. I'm just saying, bro. This is, like, on a serious tip though. Like we as artists, like we have to cultivate who we are, and by cultivating, what we think is cultivating is we do that critical shit because we know it's gonna be that one motherfucker that like, man, that shit trash, nigga.
See, but that's always the people that you pay attention to.
Yeah, and you never, like, you can have 10 motherfuckers lined up. That shit hit hard, nigga. That shit was raw. You do not believe a fucking word they say.
Because you're looking for that motherfucker to be negative.
Yeah, and then the first nigga that say something bad, the nigga you was looking for, it's almost like you surprised yourself. Like, it's like a self-mind fuck. Like, you're like, nah, man, yeah, my shit good. You know it's good, but then you start doing this thing where you're like, I don't think this shit that good, bro. You start doubting it, and then as soon as you start doubting it, it's one nigga in the universe. That motherfucker come around like a boomerang. You threw that bitch out, he coming around, and you don't know who is gonna be your. Hell, it be your own people that's supposed to be your homies. That might be that motherfucker, and you be like, what the fuck?
See, but you need those type of homies in your camp, though. You can't have all people just like, yo, that shit is fire, because that's
it's the difference between being critical and cynical. You know, it's some niggas that's cynical with how they look at their homies. Like, I got homies that they're critical, and then I got associates that are cynical. And most of the time, I do take what they have to say into consideration because I'll be like, okay, instead of being down on myself, nigga, how do dumb niggas listen to music?
That is not a good way to do that shit. Nah, but I'm saying, I think I only listen to them if they have a criticism that I had of myself.
Right.
So, like, if they notice some shit that I knew going into the shit, then that's something different. But if they just like, oh man, you sorry as shit, you trash, all that shit was garbage.
I think I'm talking in retrospect because a lot of times when I'm looking at, hold on, my fiance texting me. Hold on, fuck around to get my nuts chopped off and shit.
Nah, son, none of that.
Man,
Rain about that shit.
What the fuck? Okay. Real life shit happened. Let's get back to the shit. But where the fuck were we?
We were talking about self-critical artists.
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna be real with you, man. Me being self-critical. Why the fuck I keep bumping this goddamn mic? FYI, invest in getting another condenser mic. But yeah, like being critical of myself, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's like I look at it in retrospect. I look at how I used to be when I used to take everybody that said anything negative about me doing music, because I had so many people in my family shitting on me doing music, and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm not out here smoking crack or nothing, you know what I'm saying?
I think the main thing with family is they don't understand it. So they're looking at these main lanes of careers that you should take. Oh, go be a doctor, make a bunch of money, lawyer, fucking all this different shit.
A
Whatever it is.
pediatrician, nigga.
Yeah, whatever it is. They're trying to, they want the best for you, but at the same time, they want to shit on a dream that maybe they even had, but didn't follow it.
Yeah. It's almost like a self-doubt seed that they put in you. And then once they put that in you, it's like, you know, full fruition comes full circle. Like, but it comes around.
It also depends on the person, because like my dad was super supportive, and this is a dude, he's been DJing over 30 years. He done had a bunch of different shit. He was on the radio for a while with KTSU, all the different shit. So he's had this communications career, and he's also had dreams of writing scripts for movies or short films, shit like that, and producing, starting up his own production company for film.
Right.
So I mean, he was always supportive of that, because I guess he understood like where he was at when he was younger, and now where I am now. Like with the rest of the family, I really don't give a shit, because I'm the type of person.
You got that core person, man, and that's really what you need, man.
But even if I didn't have him, I still don't give a shit. Because at the end of the day, I'm living this life for me. And yeah, you got other people, fiancés, you got goddamn close family members, you got all that type of shit, homies that are around you. But you have to focus on what you want, what your goals are. If it's detrimental to someone else, that's something different. Then we can have that conversation, but it's not.
Okay. Well, I mean, to sideline, you know, from the opening conversation of what we just talked about, like pretty much that goes into, you know, what hardened you as an artist. Like what made you develop into an artist? Like first of all, I want to add, there's two things, twofold. First, I want to ask, how did you start? And second, how did you get better?
All right, so we'll get to the better one, but how I started. So when I graduated high school, right after I graduated, my dad got me into this program, because like I said, he's a communications major, he knows a bunch of different people. He got me into this program where I would basically be a PCA, a patient care assistant, working in the hospitals. So right out of high school, I went into this training that we had for like 8 weeks or some shit like that, and we were training to be patient care assistants
Was it like
at a
hospice
hospital.
or some shit?
No. So I'm sure they do have PCAs for hospice and that type of shit, but I mean like a legitimate hospital, like under nurses, you're helping out the nurse type shit.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like a CNA, certified nursing assistant, but not really.
Shouts out to my nigga CJ Jones and my little nephew Deuce. You know what I'm saying? Best friend for life. No homo. Pause.
I mean, best friend for life ain't that bad, bro.
Nah, you know niggas misconstrue shit. Niggas be like, oh, that's the old
niggas,
soft moist shit, nigga.
Fuck them. You ain't recording that for them.
Yeah, true.
But I got into that program. I was working at St. Luke's in the medical center for a while. I got hired back onto the hospital after that program was over. So I was working there for a minute. While at the same time, I was going to school for nursing, because I was like, that's a good career field. I can make a decent amount of money. I can do what I want to do.
Yeah. I mean, you can get your dick sucked and pay bills.
Well, we're going a little bit, far. But so I was in that program, not the program, but I was doing that for about a year, going to school for nursing at the same time working at the hospital. It was just a bunch of shit happened in a line. First unit and the second unit that I worked on, just wasn't feeling it. I was getting fucked up in the head. I ended up leaving probably 9-10 months after I got hired back onto the hospital. And I was like, all right, what the fuck am I gonna do now? I really don't want to do this nursing program shit. I mean, I just quit the fucking hospital.
You got traumatized, nigga. That's all it is.
It's not even about getting traumatized. It was just like, because I could deal with that shit.
Right.
Like, family death is different from people I don't necessarily know. Yes, you still have a connection with them because you're taking care of them for a certain amount of time. but it's still not the same. I don't think it was traumatization. I think it was more just mentally fucked up. Like, you don't want to do this in your core.
Oh, you
like
you felt yourself getting it's like that the quicksand. You know, you marching on, but just like fuck, I'm just sinking slowly.
Yeah,
slowly, and it fucks with you, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I did the same thing when I went to college. Like, you know, I went to college to go be in for history, and for the longest, man, I had family. You know, I had my godmother, which she ain't working by the fuck right now. Her and her husband, who is now dead.
God,
but yeah,
man.
hey, look, hey, I'm
we
going,
just
hey,
going for it
motherfucker.
today. Just go.
I don't give a fuck, man. Look, hey, I done lived my whole fucking life of people telling me what I could and couldn't do.
Nah, I got it.
Her and her husband were primary examples of, like, you know, they wanted me to go to college, but then they shitted on me for not going to a 4-year university. You know, like, you
Fuck
know,
'em.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, and when I wanted to pursue my music, they kept railroading me, and then I was like, man, fuck this. So when I finally made that conscious decision to do my music, man, I locked my hair up, because a lot of my life choices was around, because my aunt helped raise me. You know what I'm saying? After my dad was murdered, you know what I'm saying? My aunt helped raise me. My dad did music. So for her to stall me out from something that I feel like connects me to my father and supersedes that, and I'm like, bitch, you hindering me from being great right now.
I just want the listeners to know, like, I know he introduced me as a good friend and shit, but this nigga just brought up the murder of his father, like, like it was just nonchalantly.
Hey,
like,
look,
I did not previously know this information. And
Hey, look, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, hey, man, look, we gotta be raw, we gotta be real about this shit. So, I mean, a part of, you know, getting into, you know, hip hop, I started after my dad, because the reason why I bring up my dad's murder was because, like any tragic fucking superhero story,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know, the death of a parent, it traumatizes you, and what it did was it warped my sense of the world to a point where I was like, this ain't gonna be me.
but then it gives you more drive to do what the fuck you want to do.
Hell yeah, and my dad was a singer. Motherfucker could sing his ass off. Now me, I wasn't blessed with that, but my baby sister was, and she's squandering it right now. But you know, God bless her. Me, myself,
That's all the old niggas. God bless her. Bless her soul.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yes, Lord. But look, I'm gonna tell you right now, like I was rapping as a kid, and I was coming up with metaphors and similes that most little kids did not fucking understand.
See, but that's kind of what brings me down chasing this artist shit too, because I never really had that. Yeah, I would think of words and different shit, like a little rhyme here and there, but when I was a kid, I wasn't really like, I want to do music, I'm gonna start rapping. Like, nah, it wasn't like that. If anything, I started producing first, and I was like, man, I don't want to be that producer rapper nigga. Like,
Yeah.
it seemed corny to me, like trying to actually do that
Like,
shit.
cause it seemed like a gimmick.
Yeah,
And I mean, it either seemed like a gimmick or it seemed like you gotta be extra talented to do it.
yeah.
But come to find out, you know, most of these producer rapper niggas, they either produce and have niggas that write their shit, or they write and then they produce some shit, you know?
Well, we don't want to talk about too many of them.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say no names. You motherfuckers can guess that yourself, you feel me? But me, myself, I was on the opposite. I started as a writer because I'm not dyslexic, but I have dyscalculia, which is the shit with numbers. I can't fuck with numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Too many numbers jumbled up. Too many numbers in a sequence will fuck up my life. But I motherfucking know how to count money.
That's
Yes.
enough.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't need trigonometry, bitch.
But I think like you were saying with your father's murder that gave you that drive. I think the hospital did that in a way for me. Like, not only that, but just me, myself, and I living with myself after those few months where I wasn't working, just chilling out, going to school, still doing all that, living fucking broke as hell, relying on my parents to help me out. Luckily,
asking for $20 that you don't want to ask for, but you fucking need it. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even necessarily asking for cash, but like, hey, yo, Ma, can I get a certain amount? I need gas in the truck real quick. Like, shit like that. But I think that helped me out. And then once I figured out, all right, I'm gonna go for music. I started looking up different programs and different shit like that because I didn't really know anything to be able to go into it. I know my dad was a DJ and he was always willing to help me out with that shit, but I knew, like, I don't really want to DJ. Like, yeah, it's a good way to network and meet people, but I knew that isn't what I wanted to do because I've seen him go through it and his whole evolution of DJing, doing parties, weddings, whatever the fuck it was. I didn't really want to do that, and a lot of people.
It take a mentally hard motherfucker to do some DJing. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it take a mentally hard motherfucker to do anything that they love when it comes with strain. But when it comes to DJing, like one of my uncles is a DJ, so I already know, man. When I see him all the time, nigga had bread, but he was always fucking tired.
That's true, but looking at both sides of it, I feel like it's even harder to try to produce and be an artist at the same time, just all encompassing. Because you have so much shit you gotta work on, whether it's mixing, mastering, actually recording, setting up, getting your different instruments, whatever the fuck you need, plugins, whatever it is, samples, trying to find shit, put them together. And when you're trying to do it with quality instead of quantity, that's where it really fucks you up. Because, I mean, whenever you
don't want to do pop talk shit.
Yeah, absolutely not. And whenever you actually release Apex, that'll be the first track that the Nativity name will be on. Like, because I haven't really released any of the shit that I think is finished, but I'm still working on it, changing shit, creating new music, all that type of shit.
You're like, you do that project, you get the outline of it, you're like, fuck it, I'll come back to it when I come back to it. And if you let that bitch sit long enough, you come back to it, it's like a fucking freezer experiment. You like, what the fuck was this?
It's not even like coming back to it, because there was a lot of times where I would go into my goddamn hard drives and I would just pull my shit up damn near every day or every other day and just do minor goddamn shit to it. But it's the actual mixing, mastering, and it being okay with this being sent out forever, because the internet is gonna live on forever.
Oh yeah, man, the internet is undefeated, nigga.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
100 billion to motherfucking zero. They are fucking undefeated. You will not catch a win, but you will catch all the L's, my nigga.
See, but I know that concept won't resonate with a lot of people because they're just like, nigga, put it out. That's what a lot of people tell me. Just put it out, get feedback on it, and then create more. You
know what's funny? I had that same mentality, right? When I'm talking to people who are scared to just start. I'm not talking about actually making music. I'm not talking about, you know, they in the process of doing. I'm talking about niggas who are just afraid to get in the studio and express themselves. Like, these are talented dudes I know. And I be telling them, nigga, do that shit. But then when it come to me, like, putting out some shit, right? Now, the Apex track is a little different. It's a little more fine-tuned because, you know, me being experienced in the studio and that being your first song, I was like, you know, I looked at it as like, you know what, fuck it. We're going to get it done. It gets done. I'm not trying to force anything. I'm not trying to make you, you know, step into a realm.
You never really want to force that shit because you end up meeting those people throughout doing music, like, that have that overconfidence and they just spit some bullshit. Like, I fucking hate that. That's why I'm so much more self-critical, because it's like, I don't ever want to be that person in the studio.
Hell yeah.
Like oh shit, I killed that motherfucker.
Bouncing around.
Yeah, no.
Jumping every fucking where like a goddamn jackrabbit on fucking crack or coke or something.
They ain't even gotta be jumping around, but it's
their energy. It's like you come in, you come like.
It's not even necessarily the energy all the time, because you met people who have the voice and maybe they even have the energy. But once you get down to their writing, you're like, what the fuck is this?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they come in with that big nigga energy, and they swinging soft in the motherfucker. That's what I'm saying. Like, they come in like, yeah, nigga, I'm with the shits, and they don't make no waves with this shit.
It also depends on their intent too, because a lot of people have the intention of, oh, I'm gonna drop this shit real quick and make a quick million. Niggas, no, you not.
Motherfucker, this shit's like grinding, nigga. Like,
not
bro,
even just that, but
like, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm about to be 26 in a week. You know how long it took me before I understood what I wanted to do with this music shit? It took me 5 fucking years, from ages 20 to 25. It took me 5. Well, no, let me take it back. When I turned 19 is when I realized I wanted to do music. Mm-hmm. I went on ahead and went into the workforce. Said, fuck it, I'm gonna stack my money, do what I need to do. Went back to school.
We were around the same age.
Yeah, you know. I mean, I got some age on me, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, hold on real quick. But yeah, man, you know, I basically was like, let me go do this shit And the funniest thing is when my godmother's husband, when he died, you know, I was like,
Yo, y'all can't see this, but he like smiling. Like, this nigga sick, just to let
hey,
y'all
look,
know.
No, I'm not sick. Look, I don't give a fuck. People be like, well, he's not here to defend himself. He's happy. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, this man used to talk the maddest shit about me when I talked about doing music, when I talked about doing anything outside of the relativity of normal to this motherfucker. So, but let's not get off into that too much.
Yeah, but now you standing 6 feet above him. That's why, like,
You a motherfucker, bro.
what, bro?
Yeah, you talking about me, nigga said.
Nigga, you been being outlandish like all throughout this shit.
That's all good.
I gotta throw my goddamn shit in there.
Hey,
but
look,
nah.
the fuckery is always on 100 with me, but I always like to bring real shit to the table.
But that's why I wrote that fucking bar in Apex. I know a bunch of listeners, you probably haven't heard that shit, but once you hear it, that 6 feet holds, like, I'm saying that for a reason.
Like, bro, nigga is hella deep on this shit. Me, I was just flexing. I ain't gonna lie, I was just flexing. like, I ain't gonna lie, like, somebody might listen to my verse and be like, damn, you went hard on that hoe. I'm like, nah, but my nigga Nate. Like, and make no mistake, bro, I don't do the whole, yeah, my shit went hard. Nah, bro, we both went hard. So when it come down to it, I'm like, yo, my nigga Nate was spitting some real shit. Nigga, even my locticianist was like, damn, this nigga sound like J. Cole. Damn, I thought she turned straight for a split second.
God damn.
but not like that. You know I love you, You know I love you, Tyler.
I got you, bro.
But,
God damn.
Nah, but basically, bro, like, what it really boils down to for me is that when it came down to it, of doing this music shit, I was like, man, fuck it. I'm gonna go strive for it. I'm gonna get it. And I'm gonna make sure whatever I need to do, I'm gonna do it. Regardless of who's in my way. Because after my godmother's husband died, I was like, I'm good. Like I said, I locked my hair up. I started rebelling. And the funny thing about it is, you know, people go through their rebellious stages, usually when they're teenagers. I went through a quiet rebellion, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like when I was a teenager, like I was rebelling, but nobody knew.
Yeah.
So can you really call it a rebellion, or do you call it like wet work? Nigga, you basically, you on some 007 shit. So when I got older is when I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it regardless. And then my mom's supported me 100%. And my mom's was like, you know, your father wanted to do this, and I never, you know, I just wanted you to do the best that you could for you. You know, you ain't on drugs, you ain't out on the streets, you ain't pushing dope, you doing something that you love to do. It's good, it's wholesome, it keeps you at
some
home.
niggas like pushing dope.
Hey, look, if that's your hustle, nigga, I ain't knocking you. But at the same time, these are the words of my mother, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, nothing but dimes being dropped. And oh shit, was that we were almost at the 30-minute mark. But what I wanted to get into really for this next step is about pretty much trash and treasure. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't see his face, but this nigga face is like.
All right, what's up?
Well, basically, trash and treasure is like, how do you view rappers now, and how do you view rappers coming into the game, and how they blow up so quickly? But they, like you said, that quantity over quality. Like, are they good because they got the drive, or are they good because they actually got something that we don't understand?
I want to go two separate ways with this, because yesterday, man, somebody told me like some real ass shit, and he was just breaking down shit for me, like the actual intricacies of music itself.
Yeah.
And he was listing off artists that people would typically consider mumble rappers or whatever the fuck.
Right.
And he was naming the technical skills that they used and how much they have to know about music to use these in every one of their songs.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Hell yeah,
God
Young Thug is a proficient motherfucker.
Young Thug, Future, a lot of them Atlanta niggas, like, they are on their shit.
It's their linguistics though. It's also a regional thing too.
That's true.
Because we as Houstonians have to learn how to maneuver that a little differently.
It's much harder now, even though Houston is still like the 4th largest city in the U.S. It's much harder now for people to respect the South, like the Deep South, not necessarily just Atlanta, but like Houston. Anybody out of Texas, like, we're not making it as often as other artists. Like Travis Scott is the one example you could give in the last 7 years.
But bro, Travis Scott is really a fucking
Ugly God or some shit.
Travis Scott is really like a Houston nigga posed as an Atlanta nigga. Like,
that's true.
He's
that's
from
true.
Houston, no doubt, but he's posed as an Atlanta nigga. He took the formula and said, "Fuck it."
Well, he did go to Atlanta when he was trying to make it, get all his producing shit together.
Yeah, we ain't gonna say why, but you know, nigga left.
It is what it is. Most City.
Like, yeah, that's still Houston, nigga. I don't give a fuck.
It's still Houston, bro.
But
But
you know,
yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
To your shit. What was it? Treasure or goddamn Treasure?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with newer artists nowadays who have that goddamn bubble of success when they first start out, I think we're seeing a lot more of those new artists live longer nowadays, just because they do have the younger kids with them. And longer nowadays, I mean like 3, 4, 5 years, which back in the day would have been much longer. But they have more longevity now than they had, let's say, 4 years ago. And that could be with the streaming era and some other shit, but I don't listen to too much of the new artists unless they have, I don't know, it's just a feeling you get with certain artists that'll give you some shit. Some of them, and it depends on their intent, like we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
What is your intent with this? A lot of them want to promote drug culture or whatever the fuck it is, and that could be the life that they're actually living, but for a lot of them it isn't.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of these niggas is and no disrespect to them doing they thing on the road. I'm all about, you know, black men being successful with any endeavor that comes with it, you know. But my issue is that a lot of them they'll say, "Oh, I'm just having fun," but I'm like, but you do understand you're being used too, right? So some of these motherfuckers don't. I think they don't understand that they're being used.
I don't think it matters though.
Really?
Because whether you're an artist, producer, whatever you are in the music business, you're being used. I don't give a fuck who you are. Even if you're an independent artist, you're being used by someone.
Well, you're utilizing yourself as a product at that point.
Not even just yourself, but then once you see these bigger independent artists get together, like Russ, for example, he's not really independent anymore because he has that partnership with Columbia. But when he first started out, you still build a team around yourself. You still feel responsible, have to pay all of them, your assistants, your goddamn audio engineer and all of that. So it's still a certain amount of work that goes into it. You're still being used. Maybe it's not as bad as a major label would do to you with these smaller artists that bubble up real quick.
Yeah.
But let's say you take a nigga off the streets and you just say, get in the booth, you got a good voice, rap like this, hey, I'll write it for you. That's good to them. They making millions.
True.
They're being used. But they don't give a shit. They're making millions of dollars. Just don't waste your goddamn opportunity. Don't squander your opportunity.
Yeah, I guess so, man. I guess, you know, me being a little slightly older, you know, I ain't gonna lie. I do come in with some caveman shit sometimes. Like, oh, fuck it, it's trash, knock it on the head. But then I found myself being a little more lax with my listening repertoire of sorts, because I ain't gonna lie. I went to a point where I was like, I do not fuck with anything that's mainstream. I was like, I fuck one of those quote-unquote hip-hop purists and shits. And I ain't gonna lie, most purists get on my fucking nerves. You know why? Because they act like they can't fucking have fun. But then at the same time, the counter argument against the purists that I fucking dislike is that these dumb motherfuckers act like they cannot follow a fucking structure.
Let me tell you
song.
something.
And I'll be like, what the fuck, my nigga?
Nah, let me tell you something. There is no such thing as hip-hop purists nowadays. That doesn't exist anymore.
No, I'm saying that. No, I'm just saying, like, when you hear motherfuckers like make their arguments against like a hip hop purist, I'll tell motherfuckers in a heartbeat, I'm not a purist.
Yeah, but if you look at it nowadays, like back then, I get it. Hip hop was one genre. It was this. We going in, we telling our story like we never have been able to before in any way.
Right,
so now we're expressing ourselves in our community in this way. Now hip hop is crossed over into so many different genres and goddamn.
It's like what is it? Hip hop has like, I think I read an article that said hip hop has like 10 subgenres, and I was like,
it's
what
probably more than that.
No, I mean like what you call core genres.
Yeah, I got you.
Because you got jazz, you got smooth jazz, you have where you got ragtime jazz. You have different types of jazz like that, which are core parts of jazz. Then you might have EDM jazz, which takes from like up-tempo ragtime jazz, you know?
I got
like
you.
So like it's like 10 core different parts of hip-hop which break down into rap, and then you got what's called urban rap, and then you got the conscious rap, and then even within the conscious rap, you might have, you know, like, cause even like let's break that down real quick, cause that was actually the next topic, is like these different thank you for doing it. You got these different types of what you call conscious rappers, right? And I wanted to break that down too, like, okay, can you be a mumble rapper and go hard as fuck? And can you be a conscious rapper and be trash as shit? Because I know several niggas that consider themselves conscious and they shit is garbage.
Some of them niggas need to go to sleep.
They garbage,
But-
bruh.
Like,
They fucking garbage.
I think the obvious answer is yes, but I could give examples to that. First off, I want to say I don't think that there's a such thing as a mumble rapper, because
Yeah.
even
Well, I'm just talking about just the contemporary
yeah,
term,
yeah,
just
but I got you.
for simplistic sake. You
but
know,
when people try to throw that term at artists, every artist they name, I'm like, I can hear all of them motherfuckers. Like, it's just fun. I can hear their lyrics.
or maybe we've learned to translate.
No, but I'm saying that's funny. Nah, but I feel like that's just a term given to younger artists who are popping up,
You're right.
that you're giving them, hey, you ain't talking about shit.
But
So you're a mumble
I
rapper.
ain't gonna lie though. I think that's some regional shit too, because even the mumble rap shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
When people were batting against mumble rap, I understood the argument at first, but then after a while, I was like, you know what? I don't understand it.
But with everything, it's not regional anymore.
Well, no. When I say it's regional, I'm talking about how the culture gets driven, right? We all know New York still kind of tries to claim the mainstay of what is to be said
They
in hip
can't,
hop.
though.
And I know that, cause look, bro, it pisses me off when, like, you know how many homeboys I got that's from New York, and they find out it's niggas from Houston like me that talk and articulate like them niggas, and they be like, oh shit, damn, I didn't know. You know, I'm like, motherfucker, okay, let me go and break this down for you real quick. Southern nigga to the goddamn core. Me, myself, I'm Southern like a motherfucker. You may not be able to tell in my music per se, but you best believe an 808 is gonna be banging on the motherfucking track. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when a lot of their preconceived notions is that they allow themselves to stay in a bubble because they want to relive that golden era. A lot of them they kind of stay in that little bubble, and not all of them, but a lot of them have, you know, they got the old heads talking to them.
Yeah.
And a lot of the old heads they rail against it. And don't get me wrong, if it wasn't for the South, you wouldn't have a lot of these new forms of art. Anyway, first of all, we're gonna backtrack in history real quick. When it comes to music, right? Jazz came from the South.
The South drives the culture.
Exactly, man. Cause look, let me keep it a buck.
That's
with you.
every genre though.
Bro, exactly. From fucking blues, country, and nigga, hold on, and let's go and break that down. Jazz started as a broken form of classical music because the instruments they had were broke. They had pianos that weren't tuned right. They had fucking trumpets that only had two fucking pegs that were working. Saxophones that didn't have all the keys work. All that shit. So you know what they said? Fuck it, make that shit kind of funky. You know what I'm saying? They started using what they had, and something beautiful came from it. And then blues came about because blues, like, how can I put it? Country came from blues, which blues came from jazz. Blues is just
Everything is evolved from itself.
So hip hop is modern day jazz, really, because we took all these broken parts of things.
I think it's a mix of multiple.
Well, no. Well, I'm talking about just in a core sense. Like I said, you know, I get what you're saying. You know, 100%. I don't disagree. I'm saying in a core sense that a lot of the jazz that's put out, well, not jazz, a lot of the hip hop that's put out now, right? Obviously, it's different forms. You got hip hop for everybody. There's a fucking scene for everybody, and that's, like I said, like you said, it's not regional anymore. And because of that, the South really, because we stayed in the shit dealing with these racist motherfuckers, we didn't run away from it. We looked them motherfuckers in the face and said, fuck you, we good. Nah, nigga, we gonna pop back. Because we got that mentality about us. That Southern mentality, I think, is really why a lot of motherfuckers in other regions got they backbone. Because they remember. What's up?
Real quick, I just want to burn through it because I feel like we got sidetracked. So with the artist shit,
But it's good talk though. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I got you. But with the artist shit, With me specifically, after I left the hospital talking about all that, yeah, went into the music program, started learning some more shit, then started producing off of that. And then to answer how I got better, it's kind of hard to quantify. I think time made me better, plus talking with different people, learning different new tricks, that type of shit.
Better is relative to where you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because me, I can play some shit from when I first started and play some shit now and be like, damn, I got better. Somebody like, that shit hard. I'm like, well, you don't hear what I hear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't hear the levels in that motherfucker. You don't hear that these levels is not hitting right. You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing what I'm seeing. But at the same time, you know, getting better is part of the process. You know, we gotta be able to view ourselves as getting better and always learning. Because you can't stop being coached. You can't stop learning. Because once you stop learning, you stop getting better, and I believe you will regress and get worse if you don't learn from those mistakes. Because just like singing, I don't know how to sing, right? But I'm practicing. Mm-hmm. I'm getting better. Now I'm not as good as I want to be,
yeah,
but I'm getting up there. I haven't reached that pinnacle yet, obviously.
I think you mentioned something good there. You always have to keep learning.
Yeah.
I don't know about the coaching shit, because at some point you got to take the reins for yourself.
Oh, true.
And start coaching your goddamn self, really learning different pieces.
I guess coaching, like just learning from those who came before you.
You got to be your own CEO.
Yeah. Put
people in position to help you, but they're not necessarily coaching you. They're just along with you on the journey, trying to produce with you.
Right. Because like I said, it's an ego thing with this industry shit, man. Because what I've realized about myself is, like I said, I don't have an ego. Like, if
you got one.
No. It's I lack an ego of, everybody has an ego.
That's what I'm saying.
But when it comes to music, in particular, my ego, I put that shit to the side, because if somebody is lyrically killing me on the track, I can't do shit about it but enjoy good music being made. That's
bullshit though.
No, it's not.
Let me tell you why that's bullshit.
Why?
Because if someone kills you on a track, like you're saying,
yeah,
your ego and your drive inside of you is gonna go, man, god damn, I'm about to bar up this nigga real quick.
No, okay.
He think I'm pussy right now. Nah, son.
Not even that, bro. See, that's the thing I'm talking about, in a sense of, like, I done been around these weak ego ass niggas, bro. Like, these niggas with like, rappers do have egos.
Yeah.
They be on some, I'm the main attraction, it's me. They be on some self-aggrandizement type shit, right?
Man, they get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and that's my point. I don't give a fuck about none of that, nigga. Like, hey, buddy. Just like we said earlier, it's always a nigga talking big shit. But then you get into the booth, he doing 20 takes of the same fucking bar because he can't get himself right. But it's not even just because he can't get himself right. He doing the same bar over and over, and he hadn't even started the fucking song yet. It's like, what the fuck, nigga? Like, this is your intro.
I would have been walking out, my nigga. I wouldn't have been sitting there.
I bullshit you not, nigga. I'd have been around niggas like this. Like, I'd have been around niggas that they didn't have me on their mixtape because dude told me to my face, I swear to God, he was like, I was what was it? What did he say? He said, oh, I was intimidated. I said, I was supposed to be your homeboy. What the fuck do you have to be intimidated by me for if I'm your homie? Because he went out of his way to leave me off the track. That's my point. If we homies, being intimidated should be the last thing on your mind. That's why I say I don't have an ego about shit. Because, okay, when we did Apex, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh shit, this nigga really a rapper. So, and like I said, it wasn't that I had low expectations for you. It was that in my mind, I was like, okay.
Nah, but I'd rather people come in with low expectations. That's why I kind of set the bar low myself, like, just to hop over that bitch, like.
Well, at that point, you're manufacturing your wins, nigga.
Not really. I'm not saying, like, I specifically, like, man, this is garbage. Like, nah, this is trash. And then play it for somebody. No. I don't do that.
That's how you spot marks, nigga. Marks, nah, motherfuckers who do that, that is a gambling motherfucker. You know how to spot a mark. Like, this nigga with a broke leg, and you like, yeah, I tell you to race that nigga. With a broke leg?
I don't really.
You gonna race that nigga?
Nah.
And they gonna find out the nigga really got a leg and he done beat your ass.
I don't really do that. I think that is a product of just my mentality. Going back to our self-critical artist conversation that we were having earlier at the start of this, that's a product of me being like, okay, I know this isn't the best that I could possibly do.
Right.
So, yeah, in a way, I am setting the bar low for other people when I play some shit. But at the same time, that is my real thought of what this is.
Well,
at the moment.
I get that. Because me, I don't want to get my hopes up too high either. Like, because then you get your hopes up too high, you crash and burn quicker.
Yeah.
Because if you already got the bar set kind of low, you're like, let's just see what they say. You leave it up for public opinion, you know, or you leave it up for just the opinion of another person, you know. Because a lot of how we see ourselves, like I said, we just go into this vortex of, damn, was that the shit? Because I ain't gonna lie, when I'm making a beat, right? Now I'm a rapper first, beat maker second, right? But as I progress as a beat maker, I actually start to enjoy the process even more, because I'm like, damn, okay, the intricacies of the shit is so fucking, it blows my mind every time. So I'll be like, damn, how am I gonna make this better?
I don't really give a fuck about the expectations. I know that's kind of hypocritical to say that after all we've been talking about, but in my mind, I truly believe, like, anything you put out, there is someone in this world that will fuck with it.
Oh yeah.
Because I've heard a lot of bullshit, like whether it's my homies, family, whatever it is, they'll play some shit and I'll be like, who the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this trash beat?
Like, what is
What
this?
the fuck is this, nigga?
But they
Turn this
really,
shit the fuck off.
but they really vibe with it.
Yeah, and I mean, and the thing about it is, you could be like, and you know what's funny? I had a little nigga. I ain't gonna say the artist's name, but I said I didn't fuck with somebody. This nigga was 17 years old trying to fight me because I didn't fuck with this artist, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? I just said I don't listen to his music. Like, I haven't invested time to listen to his music. Well, you need to listen to it. And in my mind, I'm like, bro, you're not gonna force me to listen to shit because you fuck with it. And at the same fucking time, I'm like, bruh, you getting too invested.
Yeah, but don't you want to be to a place where people defend your artistry like that?
Yes and no. I don't want you to fight no fucking body, because, like, bro, nigga was trying to fight me, bro. Like, do you see this?
Nah. But we started off, all people have egos, right?
Right.
Yeah, we don't have too big of an ego, us two sitting right here,
Yeah.
too big of an ego when we're making music or recording or sending it out to people. But if you get to a place where you have fans that are ride or die with you, and they trying to fight a dumb nigga over some shit, yeah, it's fucked up.
So I'm the dumb nigga now?
No, I'm just saying in general, bro. Like, and they trying to fight a nigga over your artistry, the shit that you work so hard to build. And maybe that artist that you're talking about didn't work hard to build it. That's fine. That's a separate conversation. But I'm saying in this...
That's why I said I ain't saying no names.
No, but I'm saying in this scenario specifically, like, your artistry that you know that we're working hard to maintain, get up there to that level. Like, fans who love your music that much, you connect with them that much. I'm not saying go fight a nigga, but at the same time, to have that, yeah, that's a little bit egotistical, but at the same time, it's dope.
I mean, yeah, much appreciated if I ever get to that point, but still, don't
say if, nigga, when you get to that point.
When I get to that point, don't ever fight nobody because you fuck with my shit that heavy. Because I would hope, I ain't gonna lie, because the shit I rap about is some dark shit. I ain't gonna lie, the shit I rap about.
You telling me you heard Apex? Nigga. Nigga. It wasn't nothing happy in that verse.
I mean, but see, okay, that kind of trick, okay, that dovetails into this real well. Like, okay, lyricism within how we do our shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you view yourself as an artist when it comes to actually like writing your shit? Do you just take from the world around you? Do you pull from the abstract? What do you do? Because I feel like this is gonna be an interesting answer. Because I'm pretty sure, like, in relation to my shit, I already know your ass gonna be like, I fucking knew that.
So I would say I never take from what I hear. I'd say there are times when I listen to some music and an artist or production, whatever it is, inspires me to create my own shit, but never take. But in regards to my own lyricism, when I'm sitting down and writing, it's mainly just ideas I go through. I'm constantly thinking and overthinking in my mind all the time. Whether I'm at work, whether I'm at the house chilling.
Yeah. Those leaps and bounds of just like, yeah, that shit sounds dope as fuck.
It's not even that, but just like the thoughts that come up to your head. Like that little 15-minute shit that we were doing the other day. That was just the thoughts that were in my head that moment.
Right.
It was just that inspiration at that moment. So I just dragged from that mainly, not just taking from another artist and saying, oh, that was a dope bar, let me try to flip it and do that.
Oh, no, that's the point, man. I'm asking, like, how do you start off your artistic process?
It really just depends.
Yeah.
So most times, with the first 10 songs I recorded, I'd say, I would make the beat first, and then as soon as I make like 4 bars of a beat, I'm like kind of harmonizing to it, getting the melody together, and then I already have a hook in my mind for it.
Right.
And then that hook is gonna take over the rest of the song. Because I get that hook together, and then I'm just thinking over and over. And then it just depends on how the beat comes out. If it's real mellow, soft, slower tempo, then you already know what's coming. It's not gonna be some happy ass shit. Like it's gonna be whatever dark corners of my mind I can tap into.
Right. I mean, because I guess for me personally,
shit.
you gave me my criticism already about how my beats sound. You're like, man, you need to get to some happy shit.
Nah, son, I wouldn't call that criticism. Like, we were fucking around, and I was just like, God damn, every fucking beat you play for me, God damn, like, this is the soundtrack to a nigga hanging himself. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, niggas don't hang themselves.
Nah,
If a nigga hung himself, he grew up around white people.
All right, we getting wild. All right, but nah, son. But I'm just saying, in regards to that, I understood where you were coming from, and I understand it even more throughout this conversation.
Right.
Why a lot of your music sounds the way it does, and that's no issue.
Nah, man. I think I was just giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
I was giving you a hard time. I was like, what the fuck? But then the funny thing about it is, I knew that shit.
Of course you knew it. You have
I
to know.
fucking knew that shit. I was just like, damn. Somebody finally figured out the formula.
You have to know. You're fucking self-conscious enough to know.
Yeah, because like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I fuck with people and I play dumb enough. I tell people, I play stupid long enough just to see how long the con sticks. Because the con sticks long enough and you don't get it by then, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna let the cat out the fucking bag.
But you can't play stupid with a nigga who knows that.
I respect that.
You play stupid, bro. Like, you can't.
I respect that.
Because, yeah, there are a bunch of goddamn dumbasses in the world, but...
Well, see, now, like I said, I was just fucking with you. And at that
Yeah,
point,
I got you.
I wasn't insulting your intelligence at all.
Yeah.
I was just like, nigga, the nigga got the formula.
But once you deal with, like-minded people, it's different.
Well, see, and then I told you, I see you as an equal with this shit, because I can't, like, you're probably one of the few people I've ran into who, like, my nigga Dezo, like, you're probably one of the few people I've ran into who's on caliber with my nigga Dezo, which is fucking, I'm talking about 1 in 100 million maybe, because most of the niggas I run into when we talk this music shit, it don't be no, how can I put it? It's nothing
no
brag about.
introspective conversation.
It's like surface based. It's like, yeah, man, I love 808s. Yeah, 808s bang, nigga. You feel me? I fuck with Metro, nigga.
It's no like why. Like,
Yeah,
why
bro.
do you like that shit?
I fuck with all the new shit, nigga. So who you fuck with? All of them.
All
Like no, not specifically all these niggas, man.
specifically all these niggas.
Like, it's bro, like, niggas,
God
bro,
damn.
bro, I swear to God, I can't make this shit up, nigga. I done had conversations with niggas like this. Like, what the fuck? Nigga told me a few days ago, he was like, yeah, man, I really love Future, bro. I love Future and the Migos, yeah. I was like, so anybody else you fuck with? Yeah, Future and the Migos, you know what I'm saying? What about producers? Oh yeah, man, Zaytoven, he's that guy at Metro Boomin. I'm like,
So the same motherfucker.
bro, it's the same shit. I was like, okay. I walked away, and then he started asking me about my production. I was just like, yeah, I'm not about to have this conversation with you. But like I said, for me personally, when it comes to doing the music shit and how I perceive myself with beats and lyricism, more or less it can start with a word, or it can start with a phrase. Like something as simple as 4-finger ring to the pinky I'm pimping. Something as simple as that, right? And you be like 4-finger ring to the pinky I'm pimping. Wait, that's some hard shit. And then I haven't even expounded upon it, but just that idea alone, that triggers the fucking workflow. It triggers the chain reaction of, yeah, nigga, oh fuck, I could cut. Like when we did Apex, like I know we keep referencing Apex, but that's the only song we got together. So fuck y'all if you're hating on it. Y'all gonna jam that shit. We gonna put it on Spotify, all that good shit. But when I did Apex, my first line was, I can peep, game, seek, aim at your scope, no rhetoric. And I was just like, I can peep, okay. Well, what am I gonna get to? And it just turned into me being a fucking nerd. It just turned into me being a fucking nerd, and I just started making a bunch of Marvel Comics references, like being like, basically I'm Thanos. But then I can't say I'm Thanos because I said like I'm Thanos in the song, so it's weird. I didn't. God damn.
Trying to call your line for real.
It's probably a job or some shit.
Probably so.
Probably, but they can hit my line. They can leave me a motherfucking message. I ain't got shit else to talk about.
Nah, but I know what you're saying though. I think that's kind of the only place we're different. Like I never really go off of like a word or phrase specifically, and you like to throw in those flex bars real quick, like like that little Pippin line you just spit.
Yeah,
I don't do that.
I mean, and that's cool, bro, because it's like I actually appreciate a difference in artistry. Like I appreciate people doing their processes different. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't appreciate the uniqueness in people doing their bars different, then what the fuck is the point of us being different people? We might as well be like on Fairly Odd Parents when everybody's fucking floating blobs and shits, like the Pac-Man ghosts and shits. We might as well be like that. But like I said, at that point, because when I heard your verse, I was like, damn. But see, even then, that's when you get into a subjective view of your shit too, like heavy. Because objectively, it's all hard, bro. It's all good. It's all fucking good bars. It's good lyricism. Objectively across the board. If you say that shit trash, you can go suck the meanest fucking railroad spike that you can find, nigga.
God damn.
For all I give a fuck. But because we went so hard on it, I was like, damn, this nigga go hard. Okay, this nigga's up here with me. And I hate to say it, but I was like, I think this nigga ate me on this shit. Like, no lie. I was like, this nigga ate me on it. But then when I went back, I said, nah, we about even. We about even. But
nah,
see,
I think the reason you can't really compare the verses on there is because we came from two different angles.
yeah, and that's the beauty of it too.
We both made the goddamn right angle. We just came from two different areas.
Hit that crossroad,
Yeah.
motherfucker, you know. And for those who don't know, that's called synergy. It's called synergy. But I mean, a person that does that real well, I think he can mesh real well with any artist. Is Kendrick actually? Like,
I disagree.
disagree?
Yep. Kendrick lately,
Well, like,
I wouldn't even say lately. Past few years, if you listen to him on other artist shit, there's a few verses in there where he does match with the other artists.
Well, I'm talking about when it's like they come from different points and it's still the songs still come out good.
Nah, but that's what I'm saying. I definitely disagree with that shit. I can't agree.
I mean, hey man, shit, look, we're not here to suck each other's dick, nigga.
Nah.
That's the point. That's the
well, I damn sure ain't coming for that. God damn.
Pause. Big
Pause for real.
But the point of me saying that was because I don't want motherfuckers to get misconstrued on niggas patting each other on the back about everything. Oh yeah, I'm great, you're great. I don't want to do that. I want us to have an open dialogue about this shit. But ultimately, hold on, nigga, gotta do an extension.
I mean, ultimately, I get what you're saying. People coming on different artist shit and actually maximizing the opportunity and really meshing with whoever they're with and making the song better.
Hell yeah.
There are few artists that can make a song better on a feature. I think Cole is a perfect example of that this year.
It's because you sound like him.
No, that ain't why, nigga. I don't know who the fuck told you that shit, but that ain't why. Don't sound nothing like that nigga.
I didn't say look, nigga. I said sound.
I'm saying I don't sound nothing like that nigga. If I did, I'd be much richer. But
Damn. Okay.
I'm just saying, I would.
We have a contender in the game. Okay, Nativity is putting his
son.
motherfucking hat. He's throwing his hat in the ring. He said he's coming for the motherfucking crown, nigga.
I ain't say all that.
And he gonna piss on it.
I always believe that shit was bullshit anyway, though. That whole crown talk, I'm coming for the crown, king of hip hop and all that shit.
Bruh, there's never a king of hip hop, nigga.
There is, but the conversations are just dumb.
We ain't gonna get into that. But yeah, nigga, you know, a lot of the shit that I fuck with so far is like how you came on the track, and how, like I said, I made the beat at work one day, and I was just like, okay, and like I told you, and in no other regards, I was just like, I just made the beat. I didn't know what I was gonna do with it, but because you said you seem like you like being challenged, I was like, on guard, motherfucker, I'm ready. But see, it's good to recognize that spirit in people, man, because a lot of people I work with do not recognize that shit. So it's like almost like, you know, I give out the same energy that they give back. Like I challenge people, right? But I notice niggas be on some, man, bro, you know what I'm saying? I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I can do it.
See, I never wanted to be that motherfucker.
I don't know, man. I think, you know what I'm saying, it ain't gonna sound like Gucci, nigga. And I'm like, bro, you do understand the voice in your head that you're hearing? Nigga, if it's Gucci's voice, I'm gonna need you to get a new Jiminy Cricket, motherfucker. No disrespect to Gucci, but I'm just saying, like, it don't matter who it is, nigga. It could be Nelson Mandela. You gonna need a new
Mandela, nigga.
You gonna need a new fucking Jiminy
that's
Cricket.
sick. Nelson Mandela in your head, nigga. That's sick.
Nah, you gonna need a new Jiminy Cricket, because it's like, if that's the voice you hear when you, I'm talking about when it comes to lyricism. If that's the voice you hear, right? Well, not even lyricism. When it comes to just doing the artwork, the artistry. If that's the voice you hear in your head and you want that to come out, you are fucking conning yourself, and you ain't gonna be able to, like, bro, I got a partner that for the life of him, swear to God, he want to do music, and I'll be like, all right, cool, I'm here when you need me, and we still waiting.
I'm not mad at that though, because I was that homie at one point. I was that person, like the other nigga on the line, like, I'm still waiting, bro. Like, I'm ready to help you out, get everything going.
I mean, and you know,
mind you, that nigga, I ain't talking to that nigga no more, but
that nigga said, I ain't talking to that motherfucker no more. But see, that comes with growth too, though. Cause like me myself, I ain't gonna lie, I had to learn how to let people grow on their own too. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I give out so much of myself that I was hindering myself from growing, because I'm up here trying to nurture everybody else's, you know, well and shit. I'm up here trying to pour water into a well that ain't got shit in it already. And I'm like, bro, you gotta find your own reserves. And once I started doing that, man, that's when matter of fact, the beach out here right now came because I fucking just said fuck it. I mean, and that's no self-aggrandizement. That's just me highlighting where I've gone.
for sure.
Damn, this nigga, he getting in his late night pose.
That Dr. Phil
that
bag.
Dr. Phil,
cross
that late show pose. Nigga said, nigga put the leg across the fucking other leg, like, yeah.
That's when you know a nigga having good conversation.
Yeah.
They prop that leg up. Well, you know, son.
Let me tell you a little something about this. The boys and the bees. You understand me? The boys and the bees.
Listen here, real quick.
But hey, man, I ain't gonna lie, dude. Like, this is the crazy thing. When it comes to like influencing other people, I always want to be able to be that person that's influencing somebody musically. Like, not necessarily like there's like influence from my sound per se, but they're being influenced from, like, whether it be me producing a certain way or they just see how I warp shit. Cause you're like the second person that I've noticed that said, fuck it, I'm switching to Ableton. And you know what that does for me? It's like, damn, I got niggas on the wave now. Fuck yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna still be using my other software.
I mean,
but I get
obviously.
what you're saying.
But obviously, Nah, cause I was using two softwares. I got a whole nother one on my other computer. It's called Pornhub.
God damn.
I'm joking.
That is for something else, kids.
Nah. Hey man, look, that's why I got the content advisory on my sticker on my goddamn photo. So we keeps it all the way raw. I was just joking around. The fuckery is always a 100.
We keep it all the way raw, my nigga.
Always strap up. Wear your slicker in the rain, son. You understand me? but on some real shit though, you know, I mean, I guess for me personally, I'm gonna just keep that bitch rolling, cause I mean, shit ain't no but good combo anyway. While we actually doing this, I'm actually extending the fucking loop in the background, and I know they just like this nigga here, motherfucker got us on a marathon.
Nah, it's all good.
I mean, but bro, I ain't gonna lie, man. I think the best thing that we can do so far is like hip hop. The best thing we can really do is actually like just put our experiences out on the table and just let people take from those experiences. Cause like you said, that critique, and I ain't gonna lie, man, I had to get out of that mind frame of being unsure. Like, it's funny, I still had those moments, but they're few and far between now. It's more like passing thoughts, like, I don't know. And then it goes from, I don't know, to, damn, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get to that area. Because I feel like I'm still in that area of, I don't know if this shit sound right. I don't know if this gonna work. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, that's why I'm gonna teach you how to use Ableton shortly after this podcast. I'm gonna show you how to use Ableton. Because you gonna be raw with this shit. Because, I mean, you already, I heard some of the shit you sent me before, and I was like, okay, nigga just gotta get your drums right. I mean, that was always my thing. I just told you gotta get your drums right.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think so far as pushing forward the envelope, I keep bumping this goddamn mic, but it's not a condenser mic, so it's fucking.
It's all good.
But yeah, I think the best thing we can do as artists is to make sure that we're maintaining a certain level of ourselves too, because you know we do give up a lot of who we are, in the sense of in the music. We don't give up who we are like in our spirit, but unless you Kanye.
Wow.
I still fuck with you, Kanye. Whatever part of the sunken place you in, you know, I fuck with you.
The thoughts of Rico do not reflect those thoughts of Nate.
These are jokes, nigga. Calm down. But yeah, goddamn.
Nah, I get what you're saying though. I mean, to be honest though,
bro, I keep getting these fucking posts from motherfuckers on my Instagram and shit.
I got you.
Yeah, it's like niggas know I'm doing something right now. They're like, yeah, that nigga ain't doing it right. That's just Friday. That nigga probably just fucking around playing goddamn PlayStation and shit and Xbox. Nah, nigga, I actually do work outside of gaming. But nah, man, but really though, man, like you do give up a lot of yourself as an artist. You put in a whole lot. And it goes back to that thing when you say somebody trying to fight because you've impacted them so much, like you've influenced them so much to the point where they like, this is my nigga. I get that to a certain degree, and now that I'm thinking about it even more so, you know, I think this is one of the dimes we can put out for the day. Is always gonna be that, you know, whatever wave that you put out in the world, make sure that wave came from good ripples that you put out into the pond first.
I fuck with that, but to go back to a point you just made, I don't necessarily think that artists nowadays give that much of themselves. I think that's one of the issues.
Really?
I agree with you that it is one of the best things you can do to impact someone else. Maybe they're going through the same scenario that you are, situation that you are.
Yeah.
But moving forward and actually putting that shit out there, it's like your therapy session. And a lot of artists can't get to that point where they can write that shit down and really cope with what they're feeling and get that shit out and put it out the way they want it to affect people.
Right.
Goddamn Uzi Vert has put out multiple tracks. This nigga is about to kill himself and everybody dancing. Like,
see, and see, because I've dealt with mental health, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Mental health is something I'm big on. You know, Like that's the only reason why I'm able to make these jokes now. It's not because I'm covering a facade. It's because I've learned to live with the shit I've dealt with. And once I've lived with it, well, you already live with it. Once I've learned to live with it, I'm like, yeah, shit. The music is just all the better now because I can vent through it in a positive manner, talk about those experiences, reflect all in one setting. Because I've already gone through the mourning process of dealing with my issues. Because I mean, when you deal with, like me, I deal with depression and suicide. It is what it is. But I've conquered the suicide part recently, which that feels fucking great. Like dead ass, that feels fucking. Like I'm talking about, not even on no bipolar shit. Like I'm in a mania.
Yeah, but you still deal with the side effects to that shit.
Yeah. Oh no, man. Cause make no mistake, man. It comes with the territory, but at the same time, when I mean I conquered it, I've conquered the ability. Well, not the ability. I've conquered the effect of, damn. Should I just say fuck it and just put a flat line to this motherfucker? I've conquered that part, like the self-harm and shit. I've conquered that part. Now the next part to conquer is dealing with the depression correctly. And that's really it. Because as I deal with the depression's gotten a lot better. I hadn't been depressed much lately. And that's not because, like I said, it's not because I'm on a manic high. That's because I'm clear. See, and that's always a good sign. When you're clear about what you want to do, and when I mean clear, I'm talking about focused. You know what you want to do. You're driven. Like, hell, when you coming over here, man, to work on this music shit, and us getting this podcast, you saw how excited I was. I was like, hell yeah, let's do this shit. Because I was like, yo, I have not been able to get any of the homies over to do a fucking podcast, and I've been trying to get, like, I did my first 2 episodes a month ago, nigga.
Yeah.
Talk about consistency.
For real.
Consistency is a bitch. But even with everything, man, like I said, one of the best dimes we can drop today for our good listeners, you understand me, is putting the pieces of yourself out into the universe, and whatever waves that you will ride, make sure that those waves were made from ripples of good energy. Because without that good energy that you put out, you will be riding waves of devastation.
I'd say that sometimes negative energy that you send out can turn to positive energy. Every waveform goes through its cycles. Every single one.
Damn.
So some negative energy can turn into positive energy down the road.
Damn. Is that why the universe killed this motherfucker that I don't like?
I mean,
just joking, fucking around. Really, not really, but that was kind of a morbid joke.
That's why, but
but at the same time.
Now on the sports.
Hey, Bob.
Damn.
We're gonna go read about now, Bob. But yeah, I mean, and another dime that I want to put out here is making sure that we can coalesce with who we are when it comes to doing this music shit. Because if you can live with yourself at the end of the day of doing the music, fuck it.
See, but I think that's a hard task to give to any artist in any industry. Because living with yourself, like, artists got a big problem with that shit.
Oh yeah, no. And what I'm saying, if you can live with yourself, I'm talking about if you can maintain what you have so far as sanity. That I know it's difficult.
But most artists ain't got sanity, my nigga. Like,
nah, I know it. Yeah,
we all over the place.
True. I mean, I'm a prime example. I'm a night owl, but I work at night, so all my creativity is used towards working.
Yeah.
When in the daytime I'm sleeping, but at night I should be up working on my music. That's the reason why I be fucking myself up. Because when I'm most creative is not when the sun is out. It's when the moon is out, nigga. It's when that good old dark energy is out. It's when the world is asleep. Is when I'm awake.
I don't think that's dark energy though.
No, not dark energy. I'm talking about that. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. That's when that quiet energy, like that
peace.
That peace, yeah. Because you do understand when the world starts moving, right? Even though people are miles away from me, I still hear the world turning. And as soon as everybody goes to sleep, it's almost like a serene moment. You know?
I can see that.
But I want to go ahead and try to get this to a point of what's the dime that you want? Like, I done dropped, a couple of dimes. I want you to give me your personal dime that you want to drop for the day.
Shit. I think I dropped one. Negative energy can turn into positive energy on that wave. Every wave goes through its cycles. Sometimes you start off positive and that could have negative effects. You may have had the best thing in mind and it turned into something negative. Just because you believe it's positive and you put it out into the world doesn't mean that the world is going to take it as positive.
Man. And so far as we were supposed to drop the dimes in the beginning, and then expound upon them, but we kind of did that. But because it's a freeform show, you know what I'm saying? We're going to drop the remedies along with the dimes. Remedy for today. This should be a remedy anyway, but the remedy for today is heal yourself through your hobbies. Heal yourself through finding the best peaceful way of getting yourself right. Even if that's blasting the gun at the gun range. Taking a walk in the park. Chilling, reading a book.
Let me expound upon that, because a lot of people feel like they don't have time to do a lot of shit. I'm one of those people every once in a while, like ripping and running, doing a bunch of different shit, getting things done. Schedule. Make a schedule for yourself.
Right.
Get your plans together. All right, I have to make time for this thing that I love to do, so I have some form of happiness throughout the day.
Right. So, that's your remedy for the day. Schedule.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we are glad that you stayed with us for that concoction of crazy. But we're gonna end the show on a good old upbeat note. As we go on through our lives and we find our time.
Sound like a pastor. As we go on through our lives.
That's the point, motherfucker.
And God.
Let me close the goddamn show out, goddamn it. Goddamn, you fucked up my momentum. Shit. Well, since you say I sound like a pastor, fuck it, we gonna make it preachy.
Yes, sir.
As we go on in our lives, yes, Lord, and we take our time out to walk about. You hear me? As we walk about, understand something. On the road to Damascus, the mask is us. Take off the mask and look at yourself. Look at who you are. Face the day, because this is a reflection of your internal world and your reality coming to its final fruition.